Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another live stream. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday evening. It being the first weekend of October, it was a beautiful day today, and the weather is really looking good. I really like how it's getting a little bit cooler down here in the south, in the deep south. So, want to welcome Marty Baker. Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're having a good day today, Marty. And CG Anime Fan, good to see you on here, CJ. Hope you're having a great day today. How are you doing, and what is new with you? Did you go trick or treating? And CG says he hopes that everything went well. Yes, it did. It went real well. Thank you for asking. Hey, what's up, Tim from Retirement is Underrated? Good to see you on here, my friend. How are you doing? How was your weather? Have you gotten any snow yet? I'm sure you've had some frosty mornings so far, but so far we haven't had any frost down here in the deep south. But but it is going to be soon. I know it will. Welcome, Invisible. How is my buddy doing tonight, Mr. Invisible River? Good to see you, man. So, how are things in Arizona? Brent Mania, what's up? Got my two members on tonight. Good to see you, Brent. He says, what's up? Hello, all you crazy kids. Good to see you on here, my friend. How are you doing? So Brent says, how about that new channel? I was thinking about that, and I haven't, set it up yet because I've just gotten back to this area. So I'm just back here in Montgomery, trying to get settled back in and getting adjusted to, being back home. It was a great trip, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. It really had a great time. Invisible River says, beautiful, still hot in Arizona. Okay. And Wanda Roundtree. Hey, Wanda, how are you doing? Good to see you, Wanda. Haven't had you on my live stream before. Did I pick you up from another channel, or how did you find out about my channel? It's good to have you on here. I'd love to hear more about you. Tim says, no snow yet. They had 4 trick-or-treaters. That is 4 more than last year. So what you're saying is you don't usually get trick-or-treaters. Just organize digital files, and that sounds exciting. Yes, it does sound exciting. You got to get those digital files organized. It's just one of those things. But getting back to Brent's question about the new channel, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, how crazy could I possibly make it? And I think that I could get it pretty crazy. Um, I'm still thinking about the mukbang channel that Justin and I talked about, and I think it's really gonna. I think I'm really gonna do it. I think I'm gonna make a video or two and just see what happens, and go from there. It's gonna be crazy, guys. It's gonna be really crazy. So just got back. What was it? Friday night from Chicago. Drove most of the day on Friday. It was a long drive, but it wasn't a hard drive. It was a real easy drive. Didn't have any issues with traffic or rain or nothing on the way home. Didn't even go through the toll roads like I did on the way up there. I hit every toll road on the way up there. It cost me about $18 in tolls alone just to get to Chicago. But on the way back, I said I'm going to do this a little bit smarter. So I decided to drive back and avoid all the toll roads on the way back, and so that's what I did. I left Thursday evening from Chicago, and I drove about an hour and a half, pretty close to 2 hours. Ended up in Champaign, Illinois. If you are familiar with Champaign, Illinois, and ended up parking in a Cracker Barrel parking lot. I love Cracker Barrel because if you get up right next to the building, you can use their Wi-Fi. So I parked up right next to the Cracker Barrel, and I watched some YouTube and fell asleep in the van, and it wasn't bad at all. It was pretty comfortable. When the temperature is around 46, 47 degrees outside, it's usually about 10 degrees warmer in the van. And if I get up under a couple of blankets and my sleeping bag, I'm good to go. Okay, let's catch up on the. Brent says it would be awesome to see. Brent, I'm not sure if I want to share that with you guys because I'm a real gentleman here on this channel. I try to be anyway. And that the stuff that I'm going to do on that channel, it's not gentlemanlike. William says, "Hello, Sambo." Hey, William, how are you and Valerie doing tonight? Are you guys watching from the house on the TV, or are you watching on your phones? Brent says, passed out candy yesterday with a friend. Only had one trick-or-treater. Nobody else came into the apartment complex. Okay, well, so that means you ended up with a lot of extra candy that you get to eat. Tim says, didn't know you were going to start another channel. What will it be about? Also, still getting over you in that glass window up in the tower. Yikes. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but yeah, it's just kind of a joke that me and my son Justin, we did a live stream on Wednesday, and you must have missed it, but it wasn't a scheduled live stream. It was just one that we did on Wednesday, and we were talking about. I don't know if you're familiar with mukbang, but it's a thing that people do on the internet where they eat food and they get real messy with it. They get it all over themselves and make a big scene out of everything. And so I said I was going to do that kind of jokingly. I was going to do a mukbang channel, and I was going to eat on, have a channel where I just eat and make a mess with the food, like, get some spaghetti or something like that, or SpaghettiOs, or some kind of messy food and get it all over my face and everything. So that's what he's talking about. Wanda says, Steve and I met you at R.M. Brooks with John Ward of the Appalachian Channel. I called you Sam from Alabama. We had a great time. Oh, yes, I do remember you, Wanda. Um, and I took my picture with you and your husband. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes my memory is just not the best. But yes, thank you for reminding me. You guys are going to be on my next video. That's going to be the next video that comes up this week, is where I went to R.M. Brooks um, General Store there in Rugby, Tennessee. So I'm going to put that video out this week, and so you guys will be on that video. I noticed you guys were on John's last video, or his video that he did that day. Invisible River says, going to New York is going to cost a lot starting in Maryland for all the bridges. Yeah, that's true. Not sure if I'm going to make it to New York. I think the weather is going to be too harsh for me to try to do it before the end of this year. I think I need to just stay here in Alabama, focus on my eBay, and just do that. Maybe in April or May of next year, I might take the trip and head out to New York. But I definitely want to go to New York. I still want to go to New York. I've just got to get the plan all together about where I'm going to park, where I'm going to stay, if I'm going to stay in a campground, or if I'm going to find a place to park somewhere where I can do some stealth parking, maybe a friend's yard. William says he's watching it on TV. And William says he's on his phone, but the TV is on too. Okay, well, good. That gives me two viewers. And Brent says his friend gets all the candy. Okay, that's good. I wish I was close enough to you to get some of it. But I did I went to the commissary, my wife Carol and I, we went to the commissary yesterday and got some groceries, and they had all the Halloween candy on sale, and they had some M&Ms that were made specifically for Halloween that were orange and brown or orange and black, and they had them on sale, the big bag, the 3-pound bag, for like $1.89. So I couldn't pass that up. I got 2 bags of them. Tim says he's never heard of that guess I don't get out much. Yeah, I wouldn't really know about mukbang myself if it wasn't for my son. He told me about it. Invisible River says sometimes it's good to stay home. Yes, that's true. And William says the beard is filling out some. Yeah, the beard is coming on in. I don't have it's an actual beard now. It's not stubble anymore like it was for a while. But yeah, it's filling out completely. Tim says the safer in Alabama. By the time you make it up here, I hope to be living in Myrtle Beach. My daughter just got a job with New York State doing graphic design. She starts on Wednesday. Well, that is great, Tim. So I know you're really proud of your son and your daughter. Your son is doing mission work, and then your daughter is starting a new career. That is awesome. I am so happy for you and your family. Wanda says, okay, yeah, yes, we were on John's video. Kind of strange seeing us. Dustin was pretty up close and personal with that camera. Yes, he was. But it wasn't it pretty cool that you got to be on the video after watching John for so long and getting to meet him. And he's really a down to earth guy, a really good guy. He's a good friend. I consider him a good friend. And he's actually invited me up to his barn dominium uh, I told him I wanted to do a cooking video because he has hosted several people already at his barn dominium there in Tennessee, where they cook different dishes and stuff like that for him. So I was going to go up there and cook him or do a cooking video showing me cooking some homemade cornbread dressing, which is my specialty. I make it really good. And Wanda, I was also on that video. I didn't even realize he was filming me, but yeah, I was also on that video of on the Appalachian channel, that specific video. So I was kind of surprised to see myself on there, and I think I may have gotten a couple of viewers out of it because I was wearing my Retire Inspired shirt on his video. So I may have gotten a couple of extra viewers off of that video. I don't know. But I hope so. I noticed that my viewer count went up just a little bit after he posted that video. Tim says he just talked with his son tonight. He's doing well. Get to see him this Christmas, and he'll be home for 2 weeks. Well, unfortunately, I won't get to see my son Justin during Christmas or Thanksgiving because they will be in Chicago. They're going to be staying in Chicago for the holiday season. This is their year to spend Christmas with with her family up there. All of her family is in the Chicago area. Her parents and her siblings and that sort of thing. They're all up there in the Chicago area. But so they're going to be staying there in Chicago. But getting back to Chicago and my trip, I had such a good time. I got up there on, let's see, when did I get up there? I was traveling on Sunday, and I got up early Monday morning and finished my trip and got into Chicago about noon, maybe 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon. And I got into a parking space there on the street there below his apartment and got into a parking space, got parked, and just waited for him. He had a few things that he had to do. He is teaching and tutoring and doing odd jobs. He's got about 2 or 3 different part-time jobs up there that keep him pretty busy. So there was one day that I was there that he had to work pretty much the whole day. So I just took the L train all the way down to downtown Chicago by myself, and that was a little bit intimidating to me to be able to take that L train all the way into downtown Chicago. But it was really good to do that by myself, and I felt real proud that I was able to do it. Um, and Justin, when I told him I was a little intimidated about taking the L train by myself, he sounded a little perplexed and confused about why I would be intimidated about doing something like that because he does it on a regular basis, so it's no big deal to him. So, but for me, you have to figure out where you are and where you're going, where you need to get off. And I was able to figure out that if I used Google Maps on my phone, there is a way you can set it up so that it will take you on the public transportation. So if you wanted to go anywhere in a big city, in a major city that has public transportation like the L train and the buses, then you can just set it to that and it'll tell you exactly which train to get on, what stop to get off. And if you wanted to go somewhere else and you can get on a bus, it'll tell you exactly how to get to the bus stop and then how long it'll take the bus to get there. And it's just amazing how easy it is to navigate the public transportation system there in Chicago. I really learned a lot about using the public transportation system, and I think if I ever lived in Chicago, I don't think I would own a car because it's just such a pain to try to find a place to park. That's the bad thing about owning a car in a major city like Chicago or even the suburbs in Chicago is trying to find a place to park. Wanda says, that's great. Looking forward to that. Yes, we are very grateful we found the Appalachian Channel and yours as well. Thank you so much, Wanda. Um, I kind of was flattered a little bit with Wanda and her husband. I was just sitting in R.M. Brooks that morning eating my breakfast, and they walked up to me and they said, "Hey, you're Sam." And I'm a small channel. I'm not a huge channel like John Ward, with 200,000 subscribers. I'm getting close to 3,000, so you guys help boost me up and get me into that 3,000 range. But I'm getting close to 3,000 subscribers. But they just came up to me and they introduced themselves. They already knew who I was, but I didn't know who they were yet. And I'm not used to getting that kind of reception, but it was really nice. It was really humbling, and I really appreciated that they came up to me and introduced themselves to me. Uh, I don't get fans too much that come up to me and talk to me. Um, Brent says it's hard to believe Thanksgiving is coming this month. Yes, this month is Thanksgiving, and we are having a get together in this month. William and his wife Valerie and his mother-in-law Stephanie, and I don't know if his daughter-in-law is coming or not, Marty Baker. Marty, are you going to be coming with them? But anyway, they're coming for Thanksgiving. We're going to cook some turkey loaf. I've gotten to where I don't buy a big turkey anymore because, it just sits in the refrigerator and you eat on it for 5 days and it's no good. End up wasting more than you eat. So I just decided to buy a turkey loaf. The Butterball makes a really good turkey loaf that you can put in, cooker or whatever and cook it, and it is really delicious. And you just slice it up and you got your turkey, and you get your gravy and you and make your cornbread dressing and put your chicken in the cornbread dressing. So we had a really good Thanksgiving last year. Everyone came and had Thanksgiving with us, and we cooked a big Thanksgiving. And I'm thinking about either making a video out of my cooking for Thanksgiving this year or doing a live stream. I'm not sure. What do you guys think I should do? William says, I won't be old enough to retire for 30 years or so. Yeah, right, William. Uh-huh. Yeah. William is a year younger than me. Brent says he's only been to Chicago one time and it was fun. And Marty asked, did I get my flu shot? Not yet, but I do need to get that. And Chuck Jacobs, hey Chuck, how are you doing tonight? Good to have you on here. I hope you're doing well. He says good evening to everybody. And Brent says, everyone, hopefully you have a wonderful upcoming week. Yes, I agree. Brent, I appreciate those kind words too. And my friend Box Van D is on tonight. Hey D, how are you doing tonight? It's good to see you. I was on Box Van D's live stream earlier, and she was talking about, what she's doing in her new situation where she's living in another uh, trailer that she's got, and she's on a piece of property now, and she's just she was talking about how good God has been to her, and um, God is really good to us even when we don't deserve it, and I could really relate to what she was saying because I agree with you, Dee. God has been so good to me and to my family, even when I didn't deserve it. But I just thank Him for every day and for everything that He gives me. He's blessed me beyond belief. Marty says, "No, I'm not coming with them for Thanksgiving." Well, that's unfortunate. We wish you could, but I know you're going to be with somebody. Hey, Van Girl Cheryl, how are you? I hadn't seen you on my live streams in a while, but it's good to see you. She says, "Just jumping in to say hello. Have a great live and week." Thank you, Van Girl Cheryl. If you are not familiar with Van Girl Cheryl, Van Girl Cheryl lives in Canada. She is my friend in Canada. I don't have a whole lot of Canadian friends, but I am happy to call Van Girl Cheryl one of my Canadian friends. But she is a full-time nomad, and she lives in a van full-time. I think she stays with her daughter sometimes when it's really really cold out. But for the most part, she travels in her van, and she has a YouTube channel herself. So go check her out sometime. Brent says, gobble to wobble. That's true. We're probably going to eat enough that we will be wobbling by the time we're done eating. And Tim says that you can freeze the leftovers. Yeah, I suppose you can. I just I prefer to not keep that in the freezer because I forget about it, and before I know it, I'm cleaning out the freezer and there's stuff that's been in there for 4 years, and so anyway, we try to utilize all of our Thanksgiving the week of Thanksgiving, but we'll have a lot of really good food. We'll have, of course, you got to have the green bean casserole, with the little onion pieces on top and with the cream of mushroom soup in it. And so we'll have that. We'll have homemade cornbread dressing. We don't do light white bread dressing around here. I know you guys up north, you guys use light bread in your dressing, and we've been spoiled down here in the South. If you've ever had cornbread dressing, you'll never go back to light bread dressing. It's just not comparable. The cornbread dressing is so much better tasting, and I cook my cornbread. I cook it from scratch, and I cook. I saute some onions in it, and then once it's done, I break it up and I just put it all together. It is delicious. My aunt even talks about how good it is, and she's got a very discerning tongue, my Aunt Rebecca. But anyway, so we're gonna eat really good. We're gonna have some ham. We're gonna have some turkey. It's not gonna be on the bone. It's gonna be turkey loaf. And unless Stephanie brings some, last year I think she brought a whole turkey. They brought a bunch of stuff with them when they came down or came up. They live in South Alabama, and they came up for Thanksgiving last year. And Marty says she's coming down for Christmas. Okay, well, good. Invisible River says he always gets the Publix already cooked turkey breast. They all think I cooked it. And Brent says oyster dressing is good. You know what? I bet it would be good. The oyster dressing, is it made with cornbread, or or do you eat it typically with white bread? Tim says he loves the turkey sandwiches and the cranberry and stuffing and the cornbread stuffing. Brent says eat, drink, and be merry. That's right. And Tim says his brother has made tarred duckling for some days. And Dee says the last time she was in Chicago was in the 90s. She thought she was going to freeze to death. She was there for 4 days. Um, yeah, I don't think I would be there much past October. It just starts getting too cold up there in the north, and I don't think I'm adapt for cold weather. About the coldest I can stand is when I go to Quartzsite in January. Last January, when I went to Quartzsite D, I went for the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, which was January of this year. And on the way there, I got caught in a horrible snowstorm. I put a video up of my travel through the snowstorm. There were a bunch of big rigs and stuff like that that were turned upside down on the in the median, and it was just awful. It was one of the worst trips that I ever took driving. So I drove the whole day through North Tennessee and not North Tennessee, North Oklahoma and North Texas, and then got into New Mexico. Finally, by the end of it was probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night before I got into New Mexico. But I finally got out of the snowstorm and got to New Mexico, and that's where I ended up spending the night. And then I drove. Then I drove the next day, and that was the day before the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous was to start. I got close to Quartzsite, and I pulled into a gas station in Stealth Park there for the night, and it was down in the 20s, but I have a little My Buddy heater that I use to heat up my van, and it works pretty good, but you can't leave it running. Of course, you know that overnight because you want to make sure that you don't get too much carbon monoxide in the van. Tim says that's turkey and duck rolled together. That's the Turk duckling that he's talking about. And Brent says use a French baguette or cornbread to give the dressing its structure. Make sure the bread is at least a day old and stale, or else you'll end up with soggy stuffing. I don't make any stuffing ever with white bread. I will never do that. That's against my religious beliefs. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously speaking, I do. I only use cornbread dressing. That's the only type of dressing I can take. But my dressing is the best dressing you'll ever put in your mouth. If you ever have it, you'll never go back. Turducken. I've heard that, but never had any. Says Brent. And Box Van D is saying hello to Chuck. There's, hey Chuck, are you going to go to Quartzsite again in January for the RTR in January of 2026? I do plan on going to the 2026 RTR in January. I don't know the dates yet, but as soon as I find out the dates, and I'm sure it's already posted as far as what the dates are. I just got to go to the website and look it up. But I definitely plan on going in January, and I'm really used to when it's like in the 20s, even low 20s. I'm okay. I haven't had to get out too. The lowest I've ever spent the night in my van, the lowest temperature was I think around 18 degrees. But like I said, I put on my buddy heater and I get into my sleeping bag, and I usually can stay pretty warm if I do that. So I have a military sleeping bag that was issued to me when I was in the Air Force. When on my last deployment is when I actually got it issued, and it's rated for like negative 20-degree temperatures. So I can get up in that sleeping bag, pull it up over my head, and I am just as comfortable as I can be even in low 20 temperatures. So it works out pretty good. Invisible River says turkey, duck, and chicken. And Dee is responding to Chuck. She says she is doing pretty good. And Chuck, I wish you hadn't missed Box Fan D's live stream earlier. She's looking great. You're looking great, Box Fan D. D. I'm hate that we didn't get to hear your song, but I've heard it before. And the video that you were trying to play tonight, and Dee is a musician as well. She's written a couple of songs, and there was one song that she wrote where she was thanking God, and it was really good, heart-touching, heartwarming song that Dee wrote and sang, and she was trying to play it again tonight so that everybody could hear it on her live stream. But maybe next time when you get on there, you'll be able to play it again. But I know that I've heard it before, and I know I could, if I want to listen to it, I can go back and go to that other video and listen to it again. Marty says she likes ham, mashed potatoes, and roll. And roll. I do too. I like mashed potatoes with that brown gravy. And Tim says he just subscribed to Box Fan D and Vangirl Cheryl. Well, good, Tim. That's great. Did you also subscribe to Chuck Jacobs? Chuck has about, I think he's around 8,000 subscribers, so he's got a pretty big channel too. And Box Fan D says thank you to Tim. Brent says favorite Christmas movie. Anybody? Favorite Christmas movie? Home Alone. I like Home Alone. And Box Fan D is saying hey to Vangirl Cheryl. Invisible River, that football guy Madden had the turducken on the games back in the day. And Chuck says, I'd like to, but I'll probably need to be home with my ailing wife. I'm sorry that your wife is not doing well, Chuck. I didn't realize that she wasn't doing well. I will definitely put her on my prayer list. What is her name? So I can put her on my prayer list. Layer salad is good. I make that. Yes. If you're talking about that Jello salad, the stuff, or the green salad that's got the marshmallows in it, is that what you're talking about? I love that stuff. That is so good. Marty says I like Santa Claus in the Elf movie. Brent says Home 1, 2, my favorite movies. I'm assuming you mean Home Alone 2. Home Alone 1 and 2. You mean John Madden. CG says, my favorite Christmas film is Batman Returns. It's not like a normal Christmas film, but I think it still counts. Yep, it sure does. And Tim says he's been enjoying Chuck's channel for a while now. Great, that's wonderful. Chuck has a lot of really interesting stuff on his channel. He talks, has gotten a little bit more variety now than he used to have. Now he has. I like your Chuck. I really like your videos where you repair stuff in your, like your truck or your camper that had the problem with the axle, and you fix that. You are really good at fixing stuff. Even Chuck even did a video where he went into his house and his dryer was broken, and he did a repair video on his dryer, and I thought that was a really good video too, Chuck. I enjoyed watching that. So I watch your channel on a regular basis. I'm a regular watcher. And Brent says Home Alone, yes. And Visible River says he's a Grinch. He likes Grinch. I like the Grinch movie too. I really do. And especially the classic Grinch. Now, we can debate about the newer versions of the Grinch and the ones with Drew Carey, not Drew Carey, Carey, dadgummit, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. I can't stand the guy. I can't stand the actor. Carey, help me out. You know who I'm talking about, but I can't stand him. Jim Carrey. Yes, Jim Carrey. Thank you, CG. CG, you saved me. But yeah, I cannot stand Jim Carrey. Brent says that counts. And CG says thanks. Yeah, Jim Carrey. CG loves Jim Carrey as the Grinch. I do not. I don't like Jim Carrey in anything. He had this Ace Ventura. Remember Ace Ventura, where he used his rear end to he would take his rear end and move his bottom cheeks up and down like he was talking with his behind. Old Grinch original. Yes, Old Grinch original, definitely. Boris. But so yeah, I am looking forward to Thanksgiving and all the food that we're gonna eat. But getting back to the Chicago trip, I had a really good time. The day that I went down there all by myself and took the L train down there, I went to two places. I went to Portillo's. It's a well-known place that has hot dogs. I actually went there last year with Justin, my son, and we had hot dogs there. But I had to go back because those hot dogs were so good. I had to go back and sample the hot dogs again. And then the second place I went was that ledge that it's Justin says it's called the Sears Tower, but it was called something else on the website. But I went up to like the 107th floor, and they had these glass cubes that were built out from the building, and you could walk out into them, and you can look down over 1,000 feet and see tall buildings below you, and you could. And so I did a short little video, or I posted a short little video that I did while I was on the ledge, and that was my short that Invisible River was talking about that made him dizzy. But yeah, it's Invisible River said Willis Tower. That's right. It's called the Willis Tower. So so that was what I did when I went by myself. Had a great time, even though my son wasn't able to come with me that day. I still had a good time. And so the next day was Thursday, and he was able to go with me. And so we went to the oldest pizzeria in the city of Chicago that actually where the deep dish pizza originated. It's called Uno. We went there and got the deep dish pizza. Oh my goodness, it was so good. We also went to the largest Starbucks in the world. It's in Chicago. Who knew? So we went to the largest Starbucks in the world there in Chicago, and I filmed that. And there was one other place that we went. It was we went to the tunnel. There's some tunnels down there that not a whole lot of people know about. Even he said even Chicago and people who live in Chicago, most of them don't know about these tunnels. Um, but that you can get from different places underground, and they're not really used a lot. And there's even some businesses and stuff like that down there, and access to the trains that go outside of Chicago. So we went down there and went through those tunnels, and then the last thing we did, we were at this macabre museum there in Chicago, and they had stuff from serial killers that was their personal possessions, like John Wayne Gacy's actual portraits that he painted himself. I wasn't going to pay $15 to go in and see something that a serial killer did. It just, to me, I'm not going to glorify something like that, and I'm not going to make a video that includes information that glorifies or even promotes something like that. Just don't want to do it. So I didn't pay the $15, and I didn't go inside of that macabre museum, but we did go there, and just I was going to see, you know, what it cost to get in. And strangely enough, we ran into his wife. She was already there, and they didn't know, she didn't know he was going to be there, and he didn't know she was going to be there. And we ran into her. She had already gone through the museum. But Tim says his favorite Christmas movie is Miracle on 43rd Street and It's a Wonderful Life. Another good one is Arsenic and Old Lace with Cary Grant. Well, I've never heard of that one. That might be interesting. Marty says, do you hear about the Auburn coach? Yeah, I heard that he got Auburn's coach. They lost a game to Kentucky, I think it was, on Saturday. And so we lost another coach. He got fired, and so Auburn is coachless now. So I guess they'll be hiring another coach, and they'll be paying this coach for the next few years because I'm sure he signed a contract. And yes, Invisible River, that was Willis Tower. Thank you for letting me know. And Box Fan D, she says, I will for sure next time. Um, let's see. I guess she's responding to somebody. Okay. I'm not sure who you're responding to, but I know you must be responding to somebody. And Vox Fan D says her favorite one is Christmas movie is It's a Wonderful Life. So I like It's a Wonderful Life too. That is a really good Christmas movie. And I didn't really start watching that one until I was an adult. I had heard about it, but I just never had watched it. But you know, you can get on Netflix and you can watch It's a Wonderful Life now. You don't have to rent it or pay for it or go to any pay per view channel or anything like that. It's real easy to get access to those movies. But yeah, I think I would agree with Tim and with D. It's a Wonderful Life is probably going to be one of my more favorite um, Christmas movies. And Miracle on 43rd Street, that one is definitely a classic. Very good one. CG says there aren't many Thanksgiving films. No, there aren't, but I think that Charlie Brown has a Thanksgiving film, if I'm not mistaken, or am I mistaken? I'm sure Charlie Brown has a movie for every holiday. And those are always the classics. You know, when I was growing up, we always watched the cartoons, the classic cartoons and the anime, like um, the Christmas anime, where you had Kris Kringle when he was young and had red hair, and then when he got older and was Santa Claus. But yeah, we watched all those anime, and those are classics now. I can't remember what the titles of those movies were, but maybe some of you guys can remember what the names of those movies are. But those were the classics that I watched growing up as a kid. You know, we always watched those. Those were really the only because when I was growing up, we didn't have cable until I was like 15 or 16 years old. We didn't have cable television, so you watched whatever was on ABC, CBS, or NBC, and that was what you had to watch. And so, uh, so that's what we watched. We only had a few options, and I'm surprised now that not many people use antennas on their TVs anymore. When I was in Chicago, I have the newer TVs. You have to have a special antenna that picks up the channels because it's in a different format. It's not their analog anymore; it's digital. So you have to have a digital antenna attached to your digital TV. But those digital antennas really pick up a lot of channels. I was really surprised. When I was in Chicago, I was able to get about 30 channels on my just using my digital antenna that was attached to my TV, and I had it high up in my van so I could pick up the local channels. But do you any of you guys watch local TVs using your digital antenna on your digital TVs? Just curious, because I think that was something I had to discover. I didn't even realize that was the thing until I went to a few yard sales and picked up a couple of digital antennas and hooked them up to the TV. And I was like, hey, you can program your TV to pick up these local channels on digital TV. You don't even have to have a cable or Wi-Fi or anything to pick up these channels. It's really great, for someone who doesn't, spend a lot of time watching TV but still wants to sit and watch TV sometimes. Um, Having access to those digital channels and having 30 channels that you can watch, that's about 28 more than I had access to when I was growing up. I think we had Fox, we had Fox, we had NBC. Well, the Fox was the UHF channel, and we had NBC, CBS, and ABC. And that was it. That was all we got to watch. Marty says she likes White Christmas and all the Christmas movies. Dee says, Sam, thank you for coming by today. I hope your channel keeps growing. I don't do much on my channel these days since my stroke. I just keep trying. That's all. Well, Dee, that's all you can do. And, I'm really um, blessed and thankful to be able to call you my friend, Dee. And I really do enjoy watching your channel. And just don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. God's on your side. He's got your back and He's watching out for you. And that's what your live stream was about tonight is you were just telling everybody how much God has done for you in your life, and He will continue. I am certain of it. Invisible River, Rudolph. Yeah, that's the anime. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's correct. What is Rudolph Santa Claus? That's the one I was trying to think of the title. There is a He-Man She-Ra Christmas movie from the 1980s. And Box Fan D says she's pretty tired, gotta go. Take care and hope all has a great Thanksgiving. Well, thank you, Dee, and thank you for coming on to my live stream tonight. I really appreciate you being here. Sorry that you have to go, and we will definitely be keeping you in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully your health continues to improve. So I'll be continuing to watch your channel as long as you keep putting stuff out. I will be watching it, and if I can catch you on the live stream, I will be getting on your live streams as well. Invisible River says he uses local airwaves. Do you have very many channels available to you in that area of Arizona, Invisible? He says, I leave TV on when I sleep. Well, I sometimes sit in the living room and turn TV on at night and just watch TV and fall asleep in my chair. So that's what I do. I'll fall asleep and then I'll wake up about 2 o'clock in the morning and go to bed. But I like to watch TV before I go to bed at night. It helps my mind relax. I don't think about stuff as much as when I'm watching TV. Well, I'm surprised that none of you asked about little Tig Man, the Tigger. He has been right here in my lap the whole time. Just wanted to let you know that Tigger has been right here. He is just being a lap kitty today. He missed me when I was gone, and I missed him too. Well, Marty, looks like you and I are thinking alike. So now you know. Marty always asked about Tigger. And Tigger is a big part of this live stream. He likes to come on to my live streams. He likes to see all the people and listen to the comments and see how everybody is doing. Well, I haven't really... Marty says, do you get new cats? Well, Carol does. Carol rescues cats. And she's got a little kitten now that she's rescued. It's a little tabby, little boy kitten. He's about 4 weeks old. And she brought him to the house while I was gone. And I got to see him when we got back. He's just a little bitty fella. He's about as big as the palm of your hand. You can just barely hold him in the palm of your hand. But a dog got a hold of his whole family, all of his mom and his siblings, and killed them all. He was the only one that survived, but he is a survivor, and he's going to live, and that's good. And so Carol's going to keep taking care of him until he is completely recovered, and then she's going to find an adoptive home for him. So yeah, I'm excited about the next few months. We've got, like we were talking about, Thanksgiving, and there's going to be a lot of food, a lot of good times shared with family, and then after that, Christmas. And my wife's brother, his wife passed away in January. When I was in Quartzsite, she passed away She had been sick, but they really didn't expect her to pass away when she did. But she did pass away, and he is in Arkansas now, and he is by himself, and he's had some health issues since he's been up there, or by himself since his wife has passed, and he's fallen a couple of times. He just turned 70, so he's not a spring chicken, but he's really had a tough time of it, and I think he's gone through a lot of depression with losing his wife and all. So we may see about getting him here to Alabama, getting moving him to Montgomery, so that Carol can keep a close eye on him and make sure he's okay. But so maybe we'll get him here for Christmas. I know we won't. I'm pretty sure we won't get him here for Thanksgiving, but maybe we'll get him here for Christmas, and so we'll see what we can do. And also, my aunt Rebecca has had a really bad fall, and she broke her shoulder blade. They had to give her a complete shoulder surgery and replace her shoulder completely. And she is also in her 70s. She's 75 or 76, I can't remember exactly. But she is having some issues with her shoulder, and she's in a lot of pain. And so she's recovering from that. So they did a complete shoulder replacement on her surgery. Now they're finding that she had a break in her actual spinal column they didn't know about before, when they were doing the MRIs and stuff like that. So they're going to be, continuing to treat her, and hopefully the break in her spinal column is going to heal, and it's just like a fracture, a hairline fracture in one of her in one of her uh, joints, but in the spinal column. So hopefully that'll heal and she'll be okay. But it's hard to believe that the end of the year is already here. The weather is changing. The seasons have changed, and we've gone from extreme hot here in Alabama in the deep South. We've gone from extreme hot to now it's getting a little cooler, and it won't be long before it's extreme cold. So we don't have too many seasons here in Alabama. We go from hot to cold to hot to cold. That's pretty much what happens here. But you know, despite that, Montgomery's my home, and I'm really glad to be living here. I really enjoy being here, and if I ever want to get away from here, all I do is just hop in my van and go wherever the wind leads me. But I have really enjoyed this year because I have taken advantage of utilizing the van that I set up for camping and stuff like that. And I've been to Tennessee twice this year. I've been to Arizona and drove all the way out to Arizona. And then on the way back, I stopped at Tombstone, had a great time. Then I went to North Carolina, and now I went to Chicago. So those are the trips for the year. Really have had a lot of trips this year compared to last year. I did have a couple of trips last year. I went to Pennsylvania and Chicago, and also went to Arizona. I actually went all the way out to California because I was going last January of 2024, after Quartzsite was over with the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous. I was going to go to see the Grand Canyon, and so I drove all the way to the Grand Canyon after the RTR was over. But my problem was I didn't look at the forecast because I found out when I got there that it was supposed to snow pretty heavy that evening. And if I were to have stayed the night, I would have woke up to about 2 feet of snow there at the Grand Canyon, and I would have been snowed in and probably wouldn't have been able to leave for several days. So I made the decision at 8 o'clock at night to leave and outrun the snow and get away from there because, I don't want to be in snow. That's something I do not want to be a part of. But so I was at the Grand Canyon, but I didn't get to see it. So maybe next year, in 2026 when I go to the RTR, maybe I'll try to do the Grand Canyon again. And this time I'll look at my weather report and make sure that it's not going to snow, or otherwise I could delay my trip to the Grand Canyon, or I could just forego it for another year until the weather is better. Or maybe I could just take a trip out there during the summertime when I know that there's not going to be any snow and go out to the Grand Canyon. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? So you guys have just totally quit commenting. What's going on? Either that or my thing is frozen up, but I don't see any new comments for a little while now. Are you tired, or did I wear you out? So what's going on with you guys? Are y'all planning any trips? Are you planning any activities during the holidays, during Christmas or Thanksgiving? Are you going to go on any vacations, or what's new with you guys? Invisible River says he's listening, and Tim says, sorry, multitasking. You still working on that hard drive, huh? Invisible River says, what about eBay? What about eBay? eBay, it's kind of died on me. I'll show you the sales, but like for the last week, I think I've sold $175 worth of stuff. A lot of work being done on the house, Tim says. Marty says tomorrow she goes home, and Tim is redoing the bathroom. Marty says Mama has to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's early. So I will show you my performance on eBay real quick. It's been really slow because it should have been slow because I haven't really been working hard on eBay to make sales. But this is my performance. So for the last 90 days, I've had $12,349 in sales. Selling cost was $4,089, and my net was $7,502. 169 items sold. Average sales price is $73.07. And the highest selling item was video games and consoles for $1,610. Then followed by toys and hobbies, which is die-cast vehicles, NASCAR, and that sort of thing for $535. One of those was actually one item that sold. It was a 1/9 scale NASCAR engine that was actually signed by some NASCAR drivers. Video games and consoles, that would be controllers and attachments, sold for $449 in collectibles. Food and beverage, distillery, Jim Beam bottles. Yeah, I sold several Jim Beam bottles. $386.35. And then toys and hobbies, $338.59. But if I want to break it down, that's the last 90 days. So if I want to break it down to the last week, it's been dismal. From October 26th to November 2nd, I've sold $397.73 worth of items, with a net sales of $227.26, a total of 7 items. Average sales price is $56.82. And you can see here from October 26th, I had several days where there were no sales. And that's probably because I was on the road and wasn't really spending a lot of time, listing or putting new items out there. But so that's pretty much, what happened there. Chuck is also multitasking. And Marty asked, what am I doing tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I will be going to, I have about 8 items or 9 items now, because I sold 1 item today, that I need to pack up and ship out for our eBay. And those are items that sold while I was gone. And Wanda says she is enjoying listening to me. May go back to Virginia to see family the weekend before Christmas to see family. That'll probably be until spring. Oh, we are going to make one more trip during the Christmas holiday season around the 14th of December. Usually Carol's family, who lives down there in Pensacola area, they have a get together, and so we'll go down there and we'll spend several days with her family, the Millers, and that's her cousins. She doesn't have but one sibling, and her immediate family she doesn't have any other immediate family other than her brother that's in that is out there in Arkansas that I was telling you about. But we'll go down there and spend time with her cousins down in Florida during the Christmas holiday season. But that's about the only trip that we'll be taking before the end of the year. I'll be pretty much hanging around Montgomery until the end of the year and just selling off of eBay. But anyway, guys, I have hit my 1 hour mark, and so that means I can go ahead and close it out for the night. I appreciate you guys being on tonight, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being subscribers to my channel and participating in my live stream. It's always good to have you guys, and to not only to have you on here to communicate with me, but also you guys communicating with each other and subscribing to each other's channels and checking it out and all that stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you guys have a terrific evening, and I hope you have a great week. And I will see you guys on the next video and on the next live stream next Sunday at 7:30. I do a live stream every Sunday at 7:30, unless something odd comes up. I have missed a couple. Not too many, but I have missed a couple. And so I most likely will be on, but look out for my posting to let you guys know that I will be doing a live stream next Sunday. But I am probably going to be in here next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you guys then. But until then, you guys take care. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.